Good day, all. So the conversation today is on monotheism, right? Complete 100% monotheism, right? Meaning the belief in the existence of one God, right? The belief in the existence of one God, right? As the conversation of today, one God, which is the creator of the universe and creator of all the elements in the universe, right? The belief in the existence of one God, which is the creator of all the forces in the universe, all the elements in the universe, right? One God, which is the creator of all these things, right? So we are talking about moving away from the polytheistic belief system to the belief in the existence of one God, right? Belief in the existence of one God. Now, why is this so, right? So previously, I would have made videos contradicting this, saying that it really doesn't matter, right? But it does in a sense, and I'll explain why. Because, like I was saying, these beings who a lot of us have worshipped in the past, and our forefathers have worshipped, and that was passed down to us, these beings are actually incarnate as human beings. They are beings human incarnate, right? They are not gods, right? They are not gods. So make no mistake about that. They are not gods. They are human beings incarnate, right? Just like you and I, just like everybody else in the world, prone to the same, as I was saying, prone to the same errors, prone to the same mistakes, prone to the same what you want to call it, human, very very much human mistakes, like everybody else, right? Like everybody else. These beings who you, I, and our forefathers have worshipped are normal human beings. These forces, and I'll tell you something, if you and I were to get into the minds or the mindset of some of the beings that you worship, trust me, you wouldn't be worshipping no 100 million gods again, right? You wouldn't be worshipping any 100 million gods again if you were to actually hear, right, and listen and observe the thoughts, the thought patterns, these things of the beings that you and I and our forefathers have worshipped, right? You wouldn't be worshipping any 10 million, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 gods anymore, right? So we are talking about moving away from the belief in the existence or the worship, right? Because the existence is there, as I was saying, they are beings incarnate, but we are moving away from the worship, right? When we're talking about worshiping, right? Worshiping, right? Talking about bowing to, talking about feeding, as in you're hearing things about, you're feeding your dead ancestors, all these kind of things, right? So we are moving away from these kinds of practices, feeding of dead ancestors, right? Spirits, all these things. Moving away from all these practices which no longer is relevant, which are no longer relevant, right? There are, like for example, in the Hindu religion, there are things, and I don't know, probably in African religions and all that, right? There are celebrations in which you pay tribute to by virtue of feeding your dead ancestors and all that. When you put food out there, right, you are actually feeding animals that come and go, that are outside, right? So you are not feeding your dead ancestors, right? It's a misconception. So we are moving away from this belief system, right? So that is what the conversation is about today, by whatever name you choose to call that one, but it is one, right? One, right? So in Islam, we refer to it, the being, as Allah, right? We refer to that one being as Allah, which is the creator of the universe, creator of all the elements, creator of all beings, right? Allah meaning al the ilah, right? Al ilah, that's where it comes from. Al ilah, ilah meaning God, al meaning the, right? The God, one God, right? One God, right? So that's just an example, right? It's just an example of one of the names, right? In this one religion, right? In this particular religion is an example of the name, and in this religion that is the highest name, right, of God, right? So this one God is what? Beyond description, beyond division, right? Beyond description, beyond division. So I did say I would be sharing the Quran, and I will keep my promise on that, right? I did say I will be sharing knowledge based on what I've read in the Quran, and I will be keeping my promise on that. But before I go into the actual chapters and so on, this is just like um, introductory concepts and meanings and understandings before we actually go into the scripture itself, right? So that you can actually understand where I came from when I made previous videos, because I would have already taught the lessons, right? But just for the understanding and the sake of people who probably, one, do not know how to read, and two, learn better by listening to videos rather than reading, right? um, because there are many people who would like knowledge, but they cannot read, or they prefer not to read, right? So that's the purpose of that we are doing these videos, right? To enlighten those who want knowledge, right, and they cannot read, one, or they prefer not to read, right? They prefer to acquire knowledge via these videos, right? So that's the one concept that I will be I'm explaining today, right? So that one God is beyond division. That one God is based on attributes, based on having many attributes, but yet is one God, right? There are many attributes of this one God, but it is indivisible, meaning beyond division. Indivisible, meaning beyond division. It is one, right? It is beyond fragmentation, beyond description, beyond division, right? So people might be wondering, oh, so there's a question I've been asked a couple times. Well, right? Why did I choose to read the Quran? The Quran chose me, right? I didn't choose to read the Quran. If I had to answer that honestly, I was explaining this to someone some months ago. I did not choose to read the Quran on my own free will, right? The Quran would have chosen me to have it read, right? Through me, right? So I didn't make that choice on my own. The book chose me, right? The book chose me, right? So that's the answer to that question again for whoever is wondering, hey, why did I choose to read this book, and why am I choosing to share the information from it, or the knowledge from it, right? So just to recap, we are talking about moving away from polytheistic belief systems, to the belief in the existence of and the creator being one, right? The creator of the universe being one and possessing many attributes, yet it is beyond division, beyond fragmentation, right? So take care everybody until my next video, which will be tomorrow. I'll be consistently doing these videos until I complete this task, right? So which will be around probably August or so, right? So take care everybody, and have a blessed evening.